Okay, here's the thing. I was laying out our funnel from our membership and our website in Miro here as a diagram, and I gave it to Claude, Opus 4.1 and ChatGPT5. And I was surprised about the outcome. So I tried to vibe code or context engineer this as a proper funnel representation. So I'd expect something like this to come out. Okay, something like this. Claude got me there pretty close, creating something like this with real data, and we connected it to Google Analytics and Airtable to get the conversions, but it never got it right. The numbers were always wrong until I got to the point that I realized it doesn't get this picture properly. So I went to Claude Desktop instead, and I sent the diagram there and asked this, okay? And, don't blame me for the typos. AI certainly would never do. It still gets the point. And that's what I have written. I even gave it some hints along with the diagram what to expect, and it spit out this, which is wrong. It didn't add all the things. In fact, it even said something wrong where it says there is no direct path from the newsletter sign up to Inner Circle. It requires going through either paying member or lifetime member, which is not correct. If you look at this, you see here is the newsletter sign up, and there's a direct path to the upgrade. So it didn't recognize this. Also, it's pretty obvious. I said, are you sure? Think harder. Okay, that's the trigger word for Claude. It thought harder, and yet it's still not listing all the possibilities that are on the diagram. So I said, are you sure? Ultra think. That's the maximum thinking. It took a long time, 2 minutes to go through this, and it started to spit this out. It didn't structure it properly down there. I don't know why. Now let's have a look at what GPT-5 did with this diagram. I added the picture. I gave exactly the same, including the typos. All right, exactly the same prompt. It thought for 1 minute 27 out of the box. It, even the thought process is really nice understanding. If we compare it here, there's no image showing. It's just some basic thinking. If we compare it to this one, and don't get me wrong, I'm using Claude Opus all the time for coding, but in this case, GPT really surprised me. So you see the thought process. It listed out all the things, and then we'll exclude paths like website visitors, paid members. Okay, so it's spit this out. It came up with 7 paths out of the box, and it gave me a hint saying direct website purchase path exists in diagram but are anonymous before newsletter sign up, so they're excluded here. In my prompt, I said the first time we get information about a lead is when they sign up to the newsletter. So it interpreted then my prompt in the way that I just want to see the real conversions from the newsletter, which is not the way I wanted it to be. So all I said is include the direct website signups too, and at the second run, it got it all right. You see, there are 12 possible paths, and there's no direct website to lifetime path is shown in the diagram, which is correct. This really surprised me. You see, it's essentially a one prompt shot here, and look at all this back and forth with Claude, which essentially are then at the point. And I asked then, are you sure 100% this time? It gets, it's not so sure. It just goes again and it tries to find even more things. And then wait, but you said the first time we get information, blah, blah, blah. If that's sure, then only path 1, blah, blah, blah. Now let's try the same with Sonnet instead of Opus, and let's see what happens. Because some people say sometimes Sonnet is better, which would be confusing to me, but let's see what happens. Okay, it was obviously a lot faster. No, it's just 4 paths. So yeah, in this regards, I was really surprised how good and how fast GPT-5 was recognizing what I gave it and added it out of the box. And I still don't understand why it's not structuring properly here. I'm on the $200 per month plan for Claude, and I love coding with Claude. When I was coding with GPT-5, it wasn't as deep as Opus. I had just a feeling. But now seeing this, there's certainly a use case to use both AIs. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.